Chittranjan Dubey. He's a climate activist who's joining us from the German capital, Berlin. Chittranjan, good to have you with us on TRT World. Just lay out for us, for our viewers. Now, this area obviously is flood prone, but how much worse are this year's floods than previous ones?
Yeah, so good afternoon, and thanks for having me here also. So this is not the first time this flood is happening, and each year you'll see that it's going worse and worse. And it's a man-made disaster. It's not a natural disaster. And we know that climate change is a man-made thing. And when it comes to specifically about Kerala and India, you'll see there was a Madhav Gadkari report which was submitted in 2011, which was how to save the ecology and environment, but government never listened to that. And now because of this massive deforestation, mining going on, like dams construction and the illegal construction on the hill areas, on wetlands, on the banks areas, I think it's a mix of everything. So it's completely, I will say that the government of India and the Kerala government is purely responsible for these deaths and this destruction. And it's not only Kerala. You will see that in different parts of India, whether it's an eastern state, northeastern state, northern part, such floods are happening. Flash floods, landsliding have become a part of our life. And only government talks and gives some relief fund when such things happen, but never does something which is going to solve this problem in future. And sorry to say this, soon in few days or in months, we'll see another flood in some other parts of India.
Now, Chittranjan, of course, the Indian government will say it is doing all it can to try and mitigate the effects of climate change, but you've been very specific in your criticism there. Just what areas do you want to see more from the Indian government?
I think now we have seen the coal mining has increased a lot, under this regime. And then when it comes to deforestation, it has also increased too much. So I would like to say that the government should listen to the climate activists, to the experts, climate experts, and there are many in India. They have advised government many times. So instead of talking and bluffing on some international forums, they need to implement these things on the ground. So as a climate activist and as an Indian, it's my wish from the government that now it's time to act to stop climate change by doing something on the ground, not just by talking on the international forums or some other climate forums.
And Chittranjan, of course, this particular year's flooding will reveal again the same issue that will always come up in decades to come with climate change, that people who are affected by the worst effects of the climate crisis perhaps can't change the way they live. They have to live by the river's edge because that is where their livelihood comes from. Our message is getting through to people in places like Kerala who've been affected by this flooding that they really need to change their entire way of life.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where the government comes into picture. It's a job of a government to come with some policies and to do something on the ground, whether it's about the reskill or put people in some other states also, because Kerala is also a very densely populated state. So population is also one of the reasons which is happening in India. India is a very densely populated country, as we all know. And then when it comes to the livelihood, of course, overnight, these farmers or these poor people are not going to change their, develop a new skill sets to start earning a different livelihood. So it completely comes to the government to do something to reskill them and also to give them different means so that they can earn their bread and butter. And I think this is the only thing which is going to solve the problem. Otherwise, keep giving promises and doing nothing is not going to do anything on the ground, because as we know, India and especially South Asia is going to suffer the most when it comes to climate change. And I think McKinsey submitted the report that in 2030, India is going to see a massive deaths due to extreme heat waves. So I think the government should be concerned and should do something on the ground.
Okay, Chittranjan Dubey there, the Indian climate activist in Berlin. Do appreciate your analysis. Thank you very much for your time.